Hello friend, welcome to my YouTube channel 5 Minute Pediatric. Today you will learn with the help of ABG how to approach to metabolic acidosis and how to diagnose renal tubular acidosis through it. Renal tubular acidosis is frequently asked in PG entrance examination, DNB MD theory examination and OSCE. One question is asked in almost every year in either of the examination. So before proceeding, today we will learn about renal tubular acidosis. So we have ABG showing metabolic acidosis. Metabolic acidosis, if ABG is showing metabolic acidosis, that is pH is less than 7.35. As we know that the pH less than 7 normal pH is 7.35 to 7.45. If pH is less than 7.35, then we calculate anion gap. Anion gap is calculated by formula. We have sodium minus chloride plus bicarbonate, and the normal level is 4 to 11. Simply remember, less than 12 is normal anion gap and more than 20 is high anion gap usually. So either we have normal anion gap or we have high anion gap. If we have high anion gap, we have mnemonics mud piles, MUDPILES. M for methanol poisoning, U for uremia, D for DKA, P for paraldehyde poisoning, I for INH toxicity, isoniazide toxicity, L for lactic acidosis, E for ethylene lactic acidosis we get, and E for ethylene glycol poisoning, S for salicylate poisoning. In all this condition we have high anion gap. If we get ABG with high anion gap, suspect all these and rule out one by one. And if we have normal anion gap, that is value less than 12, now we have differential includes renal tubular acidosis and diarrhea. This is the two most common differential. So we have to rule out this. For this we have to calculate urinary anion gap. For urinary anion gap we have formula urinary sodium plus urinary potassium minus urinary chloride. This is the formula for urinary anion gap. And urinary anion gap, if it is negative, then we have bicarbonate loss either through gut or kidney. So we have diarrhea and proximal RTA having negative anion gap. If we have positive anion gap, then this is a case of distal RTA. Furthermore, we can differentiate distal RTA from proximal RTA. For this we have to know about the urinary pH. If pH is less than 5.5 or more than 5.5. If pH is more than 5.5, we have distal RTA. And if we have urinary pH less than 5.5, we have proximal RTA and typhoid RTA. Now we have to differentiate these two. For this we look after the serum potassium level. If serum potassium level is low, then we have proximal RTA. If it is high, it is typhoid RTA. Furthermore, in case of distal RTA, there is also low potassium. Further, we can differentiate proximal RTA from distal RTA with the help of fractional excretion of bicarbonate. As we know that in proximal RTA, there is impaired absorption of bicarbonate. So there is more than 50% of bicarbonate excretion. And in case of distal RTA, we have less than 5% of fractional excretion of bicarbonate. Similarly, in case of type 4 also less than 5%. One more term we have urinary PCO2 to the blood PCO2 gradient. It is normal in case of proximal RTA, while it is low in case of distal RTA. Normally this value is more than 25 mm of Hg. In this case less than 10 mm. Now, before proceeding further, we must understand the mechanism of proximal RTA and distal RTA. So, we have proximal RTA. You will easily understand the mechanism also. Here we have defective bicarbonate absorption in, suppose this is nephron. Here we have proximal convoluted. Here we have defect where bicarbonate is not reabsorbed. So there is increased urinary bicarbonate. Here we have urinary alkalosis. But the distal part of the nephron where acidification mechanism is intact. So we have pH, urinary pH less than 5.5. Okay, and here we have defective bicarbonate reabsorption, so there is decreased serum bicarbonate, so there is systemic metabolic acidosis with normal anion gap. and this chronic acidosis lowers reabsorption of calcium from tubules, so this causes hypercalciuria. So defective bicarbonate reabsorption through tubule. This bicarbonate reaches to the distal part of the nephron, where it stimulates secretion of potassium, which causes hypokalemia. This hypokalemia and acidosis stimulate acidosis and hypokalemia stimulate resorption of citrate through proximal tubule. And we know that here we have primary defect in proximal RTA. Here we have defect in proximal tubule, so citrate is not reabsorbed. So urinary citrate is either normal to high. So there is no stone formation, no nephrocalcinosis. Now we have distal RTA. In distal RTA, we know that there is impaired H plus secretion in the distal tubule. So this is, here we have distal tubule where this defect lies, where there is inadequate secretion of H plus ion, and there is compensatory potassium secretion in the distal tubule. So we have again here hypokalemia. Here we have again there is urinary alkalosis, bicarbonate, most of the bicarbonate is reabsorbed, but acidification is impaired, so we have urinary alkalosis. And as the distal tubule there is acidification mechanism is not working, so we have urinary pH more than 5.5. Similarly, we have systemic acidosis with normal anion gap. This is again stimulate resorption of calcium from tubules. This decreased resorption of calcium from the tubule causes hypercalciuria. This systemic acidosis and hypokalemia again both stimulates citrate resorption from the proximal tubule. And here the proximal tubule is working, so there is decreased level of urinary citrate, and there is nephrocalcinosis, stone formation, as we have alkaline urine, hypercalciuria, and low level of citrate. All these predispose to calcium phosphate stone formation. Now in proximal RTA we required high dose of bicarbonate up to 20 milliequivalent. In distal RTA we usually required 2 to 3 milliequivalent per kg of bicarbonate. In proximal RTA and distal RTA. So proximal RTA, one more question is asked about the Fanconi syndrome. Proximal RTA often associated with Fanconi syndrome. There is tubular proteinuria, aminoaciduria, phosphaturia, glucosuria, etc. Usually patient with RTA present with failure to thrive, polyuria, polydipsia, and weakness. For mnemonics I have a stone, we have 1. So in type 1, that is type 1, we have stone formation, distal RTA. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, kindly give comment and opinion regarding this. I will try to solve your queries. Thank you for watching my channel.